Tonight's video is titled 3 Creepy True Horror Stories of Strange Voices in the Dark. Each of these stories was shared by people who swear they're true. Turn off your lights, put on your headphones, and let's begin. I grew up in a small house in Ohio, and the basement was always the one place I hated going. It smelled like damp concrete, and the single light bulb barely lit up the whole room. One night, around 11, my mom asked me to grab a jar of tomato sauce from the basement shelves. I reluctantly went down the creaky wooden stairs, holding a flashlight. Halfway down, I heard something. It was faint at first, but it sounded like a man's whisper. The words weren't clear, but it was coming from the far corner of the basement. I froze. The basement was supposed to be empty. We didn't even have a back entrance, just the stairs leading up to the kitchen. I whispered, "Hello?" My voice echoed against the concrete walls. And then I heard it again, this time clearer. A man's voice, low, whispering, "Don't turn around." The hair on my arms stood up. I dropped the flashlight, and in that split second of darkness, I felt something brush against my shoulder. I sprinted upstairs, slammed the basement door, and locked it. My mom was annoyed, asking what was wrong. I couldn't even explain without shaking. The next day, my dad checked the basement. No one was there. But on the dusty floor, near the shelves, there were fresh footprints, large ones, leading into the dark corner where I'd heard the voice. We never figured out who or what it was. But after that night, I never went into that basement again. A few years ago, my friends and I went camping in northern Michigan. It was one of those quiet spots deep in the woods, far from any towns or main roads. The first night went fine, but on the second night, around 2 a.m., I woke up needing to pee. I unzipped the tent and stepped outside. The woods were dead silent. No crickets, no wind, just silence. I was about to head toward the trees when I heard a whisper, clear as day. It said my name, Ethan. I froze. My friends were asleep in the tent behind me. I whispered back, "Who's there?" No response. Then I heard it again, closer this time. Ethan. It was coming from the tree line. Against my better judgment, I shined my flashlight. All I saw were trees. But the voice didn't stop. It kept repeating my name, almost taunting. I ran back inside the tent and zipped it shut. My heart was pounding so hard, my friends woke up. I told them what I heard, but they brushed it off, saying I was half asleep. The next morning, we packed up. None of us wanted to admit it, but there were fresh footprints circling our campsite. They weren't ours. And the scariest part? The prints stopped right in front of our tent flap, as if someone had been standing there, whispering my name in the dark. When I was 23, I moved into a small apartment in the city. It was old but cheap, and I was living alone for the first time. The first week was fine, but by the second, I started hearing things at night. At first, it was just creaks in the floorboards, which I brushed off as normal. But then, one night while lying in bed, I heard a whisper. It came from the corner of my room, a faint, raspy voice that said, "I'm here." I sat up immediately, turned on my lamp. Nothing was there. The next night it happened again, but this time the whisper was closer, right beside my ear. Maybe I was losing my mind. Can you hear me? Until one evening I came home from work, turned on every light, found something searched the whole apartment. My blanket had been pulled down neatly, and on the pillow was a small piece of paper. It said, "You heard me." I called the landlord immediately. He changed the locks, but swore no one else had a key. For the next month, I slept with the lights on. Eventually, the whispers stopped, But I never forgot that voice, and the fact that whoever or whatever it was left proof behind. Those were 3 creepy true horror stories of strange voices in the dark. Which story scared you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true horror stories.